Title: Shadow's Embrace. In the heart of an ancient forest, a solitary cabin stood, hidden from the world by a shroud of twisted trees. Its windows were cracked, its walls worn with time's touch. Folk in the nearby village spoke of it only in hushed tones, a place cursed by an unknown horror. One moonless night, as the world slumbered, a traveler named Alara sought refuge within the cabin. Exhausted, she lit a candle, its feeble glow dancing with the shadows that clung to the corners like malevolent spirits. Unbeknownst to her, the forest outside held its breath, for a nameless dread had awoken. As the clock's hands brushed midnight, a chilling wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it a dreadful presence. The air grew icy, and the candle's flame wavered, casting eerie patterns across the cabin's walls. Alara's heart raced as the room seemed to pulse with a sinister energy. A scratching sound emanated from above, like bony fingers against the roof's time-worn wood. Alara's eyes widened, her breath hitching. She watched in horror as thin, elongated shadows slithered along the walls, their movements unnatural, their edges fringed with maleficent glimmers. Suddenly, a guttural growl resonated from beneath the cabin's floorboards, as if some monstrous entity had stirred from its ageless slumber. Alara's hands trembled as she clutched the candle, its light flickering as if struggling against the darkness itself. She knew she wasn't alone. A sharp rapping echoed from the cabin's window, and there, silhouetted against the night, stood a creature beyond imagination. Its limbs were sinuous, its body twisted and malformed. Its eyes glowed like burning coals, locking onto Alara with an inscrutable hunger. It emitted a haunting wail that pierced her very soul. Frozen in terror, Alara watched as the creature's skeletal fingers stretched and elongated, oozing through the gaps in the window frame like tendrils of malevolence. It drew closer, its ghastly visage inches from Alara's petrified face. She could smell its putrid breath, a mixture of decay and despair. The cabin seemed to contract around her, the walls closing in as if conspiring with the creature to suffocate her. The candle's flame finally succumbed to the darkness, leaving Alara at the mercy of the nightmare before her. She let out a strangled scream, her voice swallowed by the creature's fiendish laughter. As the first light of dawn painted the horizon, the cabin stood silent once more, its secrets locked within its weathered walls. The villagers would later find the cabin empty, its windows shattered, and a nameless terror etched into the very fibers of its being. And so the tale of Alara's encounter with the unspeakable horror became a haunting legend, a cautionary tale whispered by firelight. The forest's depths still hold the darkness that claimed her, waiting for the next unsuspecting traveler to stumble upon its cursed embrace.